Outside of Omaha, it is not so nice. 14 degrees. Pictures from the Omaha PD. Ice-covered roads. Again, it's not just cold. Again, 14 degrees. Wind chill 7 below because winds are sustained in the 20s, gusting in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range. So we have, if we had some snow, we could have a blizzard at time to time, but now we have a flash freeze going on. Roads are iced over. Remember, this is not just, oh, it just got cold. It has been cold. We thawed out, and now we have rain followed by another flash freeze.
Yeah.
It is dangerous to travel all across the Midwest and the Plains.
Yeah, kind of a bad recipe, of course, for travelers. And Winter Storm Hunter bringing those plunging temperatures, the wintry mix. So people really need to use a lot of cautions or not travel today. Joining us on the phone now is Kevin Gutnick. He's with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
So Minnesota dealing with a lot, from blizzard conditions into the northeast, and then you had the icy conditions in the southeast. What's the worst of what's happening right now?
Well, I would say the worst is the northwestern part of the state, because you just described what's going on in Omaha with the temperatures dropping out, ice on the roads, and wind blowing with no snow. Well, we have the snow up in northwestern Minnesota, and it's very difficult to see. The blowing snow, of course, makes visibility difficult, which makes it hard for plow operators as well as any motorists who are on the roadway. So we're advising no travel in parts of the state up there.
That's northwest Minnesota. What about central Minnesota, moving on to the southeast as the colder air continues to travel across your state?
Right, and it's interesting. You can watch the temperatures and watch how it's dropping from west to east. And the precipitation started with drizzle and rain, and then it's begun to turn into snow. We found that most of the roadways that were treated with chemicals overnight were pretty passable this morning, but when the snow moved in, it started to accumulate inside rush hour traffic. We started to see a little bit of compaction. So traffic is moving slowly this morning, and I think we've got crews out, but until the traffic dissipates a bit, we're going to probably see some slick road conditions.
And those temperatures are really brutally cold. What kind of unique challenges do you face there in Minnesota with cold temperatures and trying to keep the roads cleared and treated?
Well, certainly one of the issues we face when temperatures drop out like this is black ice, which is ice that forms because of water vapor from car exhausts or other sources. And it particularly affects bridges and any place where there's no earth underneath the structure. So that's a big challenge when it gets really cold. The other issue is that salt takes more time to work the colder that it gets. Mm-hmm. So sometimes when we have heavy traffic and we're getting the salt down, it isn't working as fast as motorists would like it to.
And Kevin, you mentioned rush hour this morning having some problems. What's your forecast for, say, the evening rush in cities like Minneapolis and St. Paul?
It certainly depends on what this weather system does. We will have crews out all day, but we can only get the snow off as fast as it falls, and if snow is falling during the rush hour, it could be a challenge. So we're advising motorists to plan ahead. If they see that there is going to be snow on the roadway, they need to give themselves extra time to get to their destination.
And how are your crews holding up? Are they having to work overtime, or do you have extra people out on the roads with the plows?
Well, we've got a system set up. This is not a new business for us, and we have a pretty good system in place where we'll have crews working, particularly in the metro area. They'll work 12-hour shifts, so they're on 24/7 throughout the course of an event, to include cleanup time. In greater Minnesota, they don't always work 24/7, but they will have crews set up so they come in early in the morning, and they'll work late into the evening. So we've got plenty of operators, plenty of vehicles. It just takes time, and we have to wait for the snow to fall.
All right, Kevin Gutnick with the Minnesota Department of Transportation. Thanks for joining us this morning. I think that's just one example of what's happening in many, many cities across the Midwest today.
And it will continue to grow. Again, flash freeze danger. We'll talk more about that coming up after your local on the 8th as this system moves eastward. So will the cold.